What's going on, people? Welcome to the Full View. Happy Sunday. What's going on? We've got a lot to talk about. First of all, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We had to bring in the cavalry. We had to bring in the three amigos, all dressed in black, all in the all in the Ajax kits. Welcome back to the bros. From We Talk Ajax, we have Ajax, we have Papimento, and we have One. How are you guys doing? I'll start with you, Ajax. How you doing, bro?
We just won 0-1 away at Sparta Rotterdam, so 3 points in the bag. Yeah, but it wasn't a great match. So footballing wise, we're doing peachy, 9 out of 3. And I actually, personally, I'm doing well also. So
good stuff.
Doing great.
How you doing? Papimento, bro? How you doing?
All good. We won today, but I'm kind of mad that you guys are causing problems with Antony. So, it's
Antony's causing problems with you. Blame him. Yeah.
But without Antony, it looked a whole different team today. So it was
don't
hard
need him,
to
do
watch.
Different. Okay. We'll get there. Okay. And One, how are you doing, bro? You okay?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. And as always, Marcel, I feel like I ain't seen you in ages, Marcel, actually. Well, I know it's last week, but it just feels like a long time. But yeah, what are you saying, bro?
I'm good, thank you. It's because the weekend. This is football weekend. We normally see each other on a Saturday, Sunday, then build up throughout the week. Yeah. Monday's coming, so I'll definitely see you then. But yeah, I'm all right. Transfers coming in. I'm seeing stuff around, 7 transfers potentially. So excited.
And Owen, how are you doing? A little bit of a mistake.
Well, I'm glad everyone else is happy and feeling good. I'm terrified. Tomorrow's the day. I'm trying my very best as we get closer and closer. I keep distracting myself, thinking now trying to do other things. I remember we're playing Liverpool tomorrow, Old Trafford under the lights. The world is going to be watching, and nervy does not even describe it. And then I log on Twitter because I want to get distracted. I go on Twitter, and then I see the Ajax manager reminding us that we're rubbish as well because we don't play Champions League football. So that's always nice too. It's coming from everywhere.
It is. A lot of people in the comments saying they've missed you guys, man. They've wanted you back for a while. All our comments have been saying, get the guys back on, get the bros back on. So you guys have gone from strength to strength as well over there on We Talk Ajax. So we're proud of you guys as well, man. But we've got a lot to talk about. And we have to start at Antony. I'll start with you, Papimento, actually, because you kind of let a little bit out there. He obviously wants to come to Manchester United. He hasn't been in, is it 2 squads now, or is it just 1 squad?
How do you mean 2 squads or 1?
Like, has he match day squad? Okay, 1 match. Okay,
yeah,
he's missed 1. Okay,
yeah, and he skipped a couple of trainings, and he told the coach that he wasn't feeling fully fit. But we know how that goes, right? So
yes, that's right. So he's trying to force a move. What's the feeling? How are you personally feeling about him trying to join United, and do you think that your team Ajax your club will hold strong and not sell him?
No, with those kind of numbers, I don't think our club is going to hold strong, because if it hits the 100 million, he's gone. That's a huge number for Ajax, and that's not something they will say no to. But at the moment, I thought the last offer was 80 million, I think, and that was denied. So Ajax is also saying, like, 1 more week till the transfer window closes. We need Antony, and it's not going to be easy to get somebody very fast for his position. So pay the extra 20.
I mean, even that number, even that number. I mean, I'll ask you, Ajax, because I feel like obviously we chased Antony for a little bit earlier on in the window, and then Ajax were basically like, look, we've sold everyone we want to sell. Even Lissandro Martinez was a push, right? Because at that point, you'd already done all the business in terms of selling you wanted to do. And it felt like at the time, Ajax put that, at the time, 80 million euro price tag on him because they knew it's too high. Like, he's not worth that. Nobody's going to pay it. And now that United did sort of almost call Ajax's bluff to an extent of pay the 80 million euros, now they're coming back saying 100. Even as an Ajax fan, would you say that he's worth 100 million euros?
No, he's not worth 100 million. No, he's not worth 100 million euros. But like a few weeks ago already, we stated it's 100 million now, and in the past it was 80 million. So no, he isn't worth 100 million, but we are in the position that we can ask it because we do not want to lose him. We actually want to keep him at the squad. He has a multiple-year contract left. So it's not about what is the player worth. It's about what does the market do and what does a club that wants him is able to pay for him. And I'm not saying that he's worth 100 million because that's a lot of money. But if you want to poach him away, it should be in the region. I think if you bid 90 towards 100 million, they are going to sell him. And I'd rather keep him at the club. But yeah, for that kind of money, you can just not say no. You can't. It's not responsible for the club for the future. It's a lot of money. So he's not worth it at the moment. Definitely not. But it is worth it to us, I guess, for the club. For the management.
Is he even worth 80?
It's a stretch. It's a stretch.
Well,
I think
ideally, what would he be worth?
If it was up to me, a fair price. So nothing to do with sentiment, nothing to do with the positions of the club. I think around 70 million, 65, 70 million. That would be
pounds.
No, euros. 70 million euros. That would be like a fair price. But considering the situations the clubs are in, considering how many players we already lost, and the stance that the management is taking on this, I can understand. Like, is Darwin Núñez worth 100 million? No, but they were willing to pay it for him. So it also has to do with market stuff, also.
Yeah, that's true. One, I wanted to ask you, and then Marcel, feel free to come in at any point after this, bro. How are the fans feeling for you, and you, in your opinion, about Antony forcing this move? Is it a case of you can force the move, but if the club says no, everything's okay, we forgive you, carry on, or are people starting to get a little bit annoyed with him over there?
They are starting to get a little bit annoyed with him, but I have to be honest as well. We heard Schroeder today, our coach, talk in an interview, and basically what it comes down to is behind the scenes, it seems like the agents are pushing. It doesn't come from the player itself. I mean, he said in an interview just a few days ago that he would love to stay. It doesn't change for him, but the agents, of course, they want the money. And don't forget, there's also like 20% or maybe more that has to go to his previous club, Sao Paulo. So there are a lot of things involved here, which makes it very complicated for him. And people feel like he's being pushed in a certain direction. And it's not like he doesn't want to train or anything like that, but he had a talk with the coach. And from that talk, it seemed like he's not 100% focused on Ajax. And then the coach decided, you know what, just keep training inside. Don't go outside, don't train whatsoever. We're not going to take you to the game. Let's see how this is sorted out. But there is something pending. And I want to add to what you asked the other boys as well. I think there is another factor involved as well. If you purely look at the coach, what he said today, post-match interview, he said he doesn't want Antony to leave. And I really think it's not political. I really think he does. But he did say, like, I'm not the board. I cannot take that decision on my own. So it depends. Of course, the board has a different look at it. It's more business related. So Ajax never got more than Frenkie de Jong, 75 plus 11 add-ons. That's the highest fee we ever got.
Gee, so this would be, so if we got Antony, it would be the highest amount ever transferred out of Ajax.
Higher than Frenkie de Jong.
Only Man United.
Even saying Frenkie de Jong's name gives me shudders at this point.
I'm sorry, but that's our highest at Ajax.
Yeah. That's our highest. But the only thing I want to add to that is that's one part, looking at the Antony situation. But I think a lot of fans are also upset with United in general, because this could have all been tackled. I'm sorry, this could have all been tackled earlier. Why come 10 days before the market closes? And because you also put us in a difficult situation. We are already in the league, playing in the league. You guys are as well. And this week we have the Champions League draw. I mean, we're going to play Champions League soon. So it's not easy for us to digest this as well.
That dagger just hurts so much.
In the transfer window. Yeah.
No, but it's true. It's, Marcel, over to you if you want to ask the guys any questions. But just off the back of what one's saying there, like, you can't argue with anything they're saying. Like, it's typical Manchester United. They've managed to annoy two sets of fan bases.
Yeah, it just goes to show how poor we've been in the market in terms of, and it's the boardroom mainly, guys. That it's been really bad. But just on Antony, how has he been playing? Because obviously he had an injury, had a hamstring injury. So what kind of form is he in? Is he flying? Is he playing well? And What can we expect to see from him?
Did you see the last match, Marcel, or not? Not against Sparta, but against the one before.
No, I've seen clips of him playing, and he looks like he's still vibrant, still high energy, still lots of skills, but I haven't seen like a whole 90 minutes.
You should watch the summary against Groningen, I believe it was. He was amazing. The stuff he showed, it was like it was all coming together. Like we had this great player at our club, Zlatan, and he played like a magnificent match against NAC Breda, I believe, and then he was gone. And this was like United was like playing very badly against Brentford, of course, that weekend, and we were playing very well against Groningen, and Antony was the star. So you should watch that game. This was the last one he played, and it was like, okay, United is coming from now, definitely. You need some strengthening, and then he's playing one of his best halves I've seen in a while. So yeah, he was amazing, and there's footage of it online on Twitter. I would love to show it to you now, but it's impossible. You should check it out, man.
And his goal also, Marcel, was really amazing. It was Robin-esque. I don't know if you watched Robin back in the day, but it's cutting it outside, and then really good goal from him. So I would watch that, and you will see his quality. Yeah.
Papimento, earlier on, sorry, 1 second, and then you go. Ajax said just a while ago that if it gets to a certain price, Ajax will definitely sell. Do you guys all agree on that? Is that your take that you don't see a way that Ajax can turn down 100 million? And if they did, would you be saying that if you were going to turn it down, then Antony's worth turning it down for? Or from your point of view as an Ajax fan, would you be like, well, no, that's too much money to turn down. We should take it and progress the squad further?
Look, at Ajax, we always know that we're gonna change our squad every time, and everybody wants to buy our players, so we're kind of used to that. I mean, already 7 of our first team players from last year left us. That's what our coach also said. He said one more would be too much, but yeah, I mean, fans are also talking about maybe if he goes and let's say 95 and higher, I think Ajax will accept. To be honest, it's just not sensible to not accept it. And our fans are also talking about, okay, if he leaves, we'll buy Ziyech.
Yeah.
And
happy with that? Would you be happy with that?
Right wing. Oh yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Ziyech. Yeah, quality
Which one?
player.
Ziyech or Antony in your team? If you could choose right now.
No, Antony, of course.
Yeah. Okay. But that's a good replacement, Ziyech, you're saying.
I think it's similar, but Antony has more depth in his game. And Ziyech is more of a creative player that comes into the ball and gives the crosses and passes, etc. So it's just a different kind of profile. So it's just what you like more.
Yeah.
Can I add to
But I think Antony is better for the Premier League.
Go for it, one.
Yeah, I just want to add that the biggest difference, I think Papimento already said. I think Antony, like Ziyech needs players around him that moves a lot, so he can give, like the passes and all these kind of things. Antony doesn't need that. He can like have the ball. And they were like, you have 2 opponents, 3 opponents next to him, and he can still do something crazy, So it's totally different. But we all, of course, there's a sentiment involved as well. We all remember Ziyech from the Champions League, all these kind of things. So, a lot of people are happy, but it's contingent a little bit. I feel like it's, okay, from the coach perspective, he wants to also perform this season. So if we sell Antony, Ajax has to make sure that maybe we can sign Ziyech. And there is a meeting soon scheduled already between Ajax and Ziyech. So there's a lot going on right now.
We'll get to the super chats. But one question I just wanted to ask, and then I'm going to hand over to Owen after the super chats, is I was talking to Owen, and we like kind of back and forth in just talking about wingers and stuff like that. And my thing is that I want us to have fast, direct, really quick wingers. When I look at all the best wingers in the league, like we just watched Newcastle absolutely take it to Man City. St. Maximin was amazing. Even Miguel Almiron, because he's just quick, he's direct. He might lack quality, but he's fantastic at doing that. I look at Kulusevski at Spurs. I look at Son at Spurs. I look at Diaz at Liverpool. I look at Salah, even Sterling. Players like this, like direct and fast. Is Antony that, or is he more? I need the ball at feet. I'm tricky, because I believe we have that in Sancho, like a ball to feet, where defenders aren't really scared. They go right 1-on-1. You don't have the pace from say 0 to running to get past me. That thrust. Does Antony possess like natural speed?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah?
man. Yeah. You should watch some videos of Ajax.
I've seen some, and a lot of the ones I've seen is more like one touch, like turn, nutmeg, kind of skillful. I haven't seen too much like.
It's difficult. It's a difficult question, Flex,
Okay.
because it all has to do with playing style. Also, you know, some teams have the room to flick the ball on and go deep and use your speed. We often are at the opponent's half, and it's crowded there. They park the bus. They have a lot of players in front of the goalkeeper, and they are just circling around the 60-yard box. You cannot always use your speed then, so you have to do some flick-ons, you have to do some tricks, and you have to do some trickery to get on. But in the Premier League, if you have faster games and you have more counterattacks and more space, I think Antony will do terrifically with the space because he's very pacey. He's one of our fastest players that we've had in the last decades, I think. This guy has tremendous speed. Excellent speed. And the way he's running, and he can flick it on. He had one game last season, I can believe, and the guys can back me up for this. He just flicked on the ball and he just run, and he was like double the space between him and his direct opponent, and they started at the same level. So I think he can do that, and he can.
Was that against like a left back who was like bottom of the league, Eredivisie though?
I don't know.
That was Champions League, Flex. That was Champions League.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
again, the Champions League.
I think he can do it for you, but you have to have the style and the room to play like this, and this is the most important thing.
Okay, guys, smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm just going to fly through these super chats real quick. Owen, help me out if I miss any, but I think I'm good. WJ Barrett says, Glazer's out, but we have to get behind the transfers and Erik ten Hag. Get excited over who comes in. Yes, it's late, but I want my team to compete. P.S. The club ain't being sold for now, so let them spend their P's. WJ Barrett saying just pay whatever it is. Adrian says, big up. I really want us to sign a left-footed right winger, but 100 million is mental. I can't lie. Would rather Gakpo at half the price. We'll talk about Gakpo a little bit because a lot of people in the comments are saying to ask you guys' thoughts on Cody Gakpo. A lot of shaking their heads there. Obviously, he plays for PSV. Maybe they hate him anyway.
No.
Nikki, thank you for becoming a member, latest member of the UV Members Club. Big up to you, Nikki. Super chat here from, where's the next one? Let me scroll down. Might just do it in the list. It's probably easier. But here's one from Red Baron. Red Baron says, hey, I said the other day I'd like the Ajax guys back on one of the most recent videos. So thank you guys. There you go. Your wishes come straight through. The guys are here. And after Red Baron, we've got Nathan says, good to see the Ajax guys. I hope the madness of the club, of our club, doesn't dampen the relationship with Ajax. How do Ajax fans view Man United? How do you view Man United? Well, they already said they're a little bit annoyed with us, didn't they? So we're becoming a little bit of a pest. And Shavam says, if Erik ten Hag gets rid of 80 million fridge, Harry Maguire, he deserves a statue. And Lil Yo-Yo says, what is the ceiling of Antony? Can he go to the top? I think Ajax should look at taking some of the Man United youngsters on loan for this season. Can Antony go right to the top? One of you guys? Is his ceiling high?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a hard question. Yeah, he has a high ceiling, but his numbers are not there yet. He still needs to work on more goals, more assists. But
that was also why I was like Ziyech or Antony, because at our club the last 3 seasons Ziyech played for us. He had tremendous assists, tremendous goals in the league and in the Champions League. And Antony is very important for our style of play because everybody can score at our club. He's very versatile. But Ziyech contributed a lot more in the season that he played for us. So it wouldn't be a loss of quality, but it would alter our playing style. So, yeah.
MNX says, how about 80 million euros plus Harry Maguire? Would you guys take that?
Absolutely not. No.
Just the 80 million, thanks. Shabab says, 11, starting 11 if Man United get Frankie de Jong, Antony and Gakpo. We'll hold on to that. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Thank you for that, Siobhan. Manoj says, is it possible to include Garnacho on loan for Antony? Won't that be a good deal for Ajax, our young up-and-coming midfielder? He needs a lot of games.
I feel there's always a bit of disrespect to Ajax when these sort of questions come in, because they always say, like, oh, take our lesser players on loan or whatever. And it's like, I mean, I'm not an
I will
Ajax fan, but
I will take Iqbal. 80 and Iqbal. I wouldn't mind that.
Well, permanently.
Well, they like him.
Alone.
I like him a lot. Yeah, I saw him in the preseason, and he was phenomenal. I think he's going to be a wonder kid, or a very important player from United if you guys can keep him and play him.
Yeah, but in all honesty, those loan questions, I saw it a lot on Twitter also. But we have a luxury problem at our club also. We have never been in a position that we have so many quality players at the bench for certain positions that we cannot play. We can only play 11. And in the Premier League, that is a standard thing, you know. But for us, it's already difficult to keep them happy. So even our top youth players like in Univar, we are probably going to loan him out because he's one of our top academy products, but we do not have the room to give him his minutes. So it would be a weird action if Ajax would say, yeah, let's take a player from Man United on loan, develop it, as we cannot play our players already at the moment. So I do not think that will ever happen, to be honest.
And it also goes a little bit against our philosophy, right? I mean, if we take somebody on loan from another club, we're basically helping them to, progress their player. But we want to do it on our own. Yeah. So it doesn't make too much sense.
Especially when people come and take your players when you've progressed them and got them to a level. It's like you don't want to then also take younger players. What happens for Ajax?
They've got their own good young players. Why would they want us? And historically they're known for having really good young players. That would just seem.
But in all honesty, Owen, the two matches I watched, I was able to watch them of Man United. I do not think those youth products would have done less than the players that actually played those matches. So I'm not trying to make banter here stuff, but seriously, there are some quality youth products in your club also, and the players that played, they didn't deliver. So maybe there's a future for them at your club with the right mix of signings, but I should not get rid of them too soon, if I'm being honest.
Can I say something about that, by the way? Can I say something about that? Because I was thinking about it. I saw your shows a couple of times as well. I think Ajax is making a very good point. However, this is something you also see at Ajax. We've been struggling sometimes to, certain players to reach a certain level. And things became a little bit better. Youth players also need, veteran players or experienced players that are good, that can help them. I mean, it doesn't help them if they come into a team that's like that. I'm sorry to say, but it doesn't help them also progress as players.
I agree.
Sometimes this also affects the young players. Like you pay a lot for Sancho. He's still young. But he cannot come into a squad that's not functioning and do everything on his own. And that's something we see at our club as well. That's why Tadic, Blind, these kind of players, whether they perform good, yes or no, but they're so important because they do have something to say. They have proven themselves, and the structure is there. And that's very important also for young players.
I think our squad, especially right now in its current form, is the worst place possible for any youngster. I think it's so in terms of accountability, it's got senior pros. You've got nobody to look up to across the pitch if you're a little bit nervous or scared. Nobody to protect you. Nobody to coach you through the game. And I know the flip side of that is, what if Zidane Iqbal can come in and show Fred how it's done? But I just think that United is so broken right now. I just think it will be unfair to those players to come into that. I was listening to Gary Neville in a Diary of a CEO talking to Bartlett, who does an amazing podcast. And Gary Neville was basically talking about when he came into United, he had Pallister, he had Bruce, he had Cantona, he had Keane, he had Schmeichel, littered with Brian Robson. Brian Robson when he first came. Like he had, Mark Hughes. He had top draw caliber professionals to just drag him through the trenches if he was nervous, if he was doing something wrong, keep him grounded if he was doing something right. We don't have that. We don't have anywhere near that.
And one most important thing, you had a manager that people were scared of also. He was on the pitch sometimes, but let everybody else do the training stuff. They respected him and they would give their utmost for him. So this is a difference also, the whole culture back then was totally different than it is now.
Absolutely.
And just to give you a clear example, Ten Hag came in January for our club, 2017, 18? 2018. I'm sorry, January 2018. And so he played Ajax for half a year. It was ups and downs and all these kind of things. And there is a very famous talk that was released later. He talked to Matthijs de Ligt, And Matthijs de Ligt actually told him, like, it would be a good idea to like sign experienced players to Ajax, because that team at that time was very young. So you saw it also in the results. And then they went into the summer and they got Tadic and Blind. And we know what happened the year after. So
yeah, exactly. Over to you, Marcel. Have you got any burning questions that you want to ask the boys?
Well, just in terms of Ten Hag, I mean, it takes, well, I've heard you guys say before, and we've spoken before, there's a bedding in period for that style of football to come. So how long do you think, or how long did it take you guys to just, adapt to that style of play that he had? And of course, we're talking about inconsistency. These are youth players, they're inconsistent. So we've also got that kind of thing. What do you think Zidane Iqbal is in terms of a 6? Can he be the right kind of type of 6 for Ten Hag system?
It's a very difficult question. I would not advise you guys to put a youngster like that on the 6th position. You saw last match what happened with Eriksen. As more of a veteran player, and it's for him. It was also difficult in this team at the moment to fill in that 6th position properly. So I would actually prefer for you guys to, if you use your signing Casemiro, he's more mature. He has some experience, and I think there has to be a body there and a personality there that can lead the team a bit, and also drag the team by the hand, when things are not going well, to brush it off and keep your chin up. And it's a lot to ask for a youngster to do that. So maybe in potential in the future it could be. But if you play a youngster, do not play him at the position that is where change is necessary the most. And your 6th position is very, very important, especially in the way Knach wants to play.
Just really quickly,
could see him.
Oh yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Go for it. Oh no, I just wanted to add that you could use him as a backup for Eriksen, maybe on the 8th position. If Casemiro plays the 6, he 8, and then switch it around, because Eriksen is also not the youngest anymore. So I'm doubting if he can play every match.
We need to get Eriksen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Flex. Go ahead.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I will stick to what I said. I don't think you should fit in any youngster at this moment if the structure is not there. Make sure your structure is there. Get the signings you guys need. Let it roll a little bit. That things are, because what Ten Hag is trying to do now with the Casemiro signing, especially how I view it, is he's trying to stop the free fall, basically. Casemiro will make sure he brings in a certain mentality, and he will also make sure that if you guys concede 1 goal, you guys don't concede 5 after. So basically, what's happening here now?
Juan, I just want to add to that, though. Look, you also have to look at quality. And at Ajax, we always say age doesn't matter. It's the quality you show on the pitch, right? So even if he's young, I bet you his quality is already further than Fred and McTominay. Why would you use them? Use the youngster and then build them up.
No, but I agree. What I'm saying is that you should focus on getting experienced players that will help to create a structure in the team first. I'm not saying keeping the same players playing in the same position. That's not what I said. But then from there, as a starting point, you can start, putting in some of the very talented youngsters. That's how.
So basically, calm, like steady the ship first, and then drop in a couple of. To be fair, both of those statements could be right. You could start maybe you could start a couple of youngsters, and then the team starts playing better in general, and then you can go forward. Or on the other side, which I lean more towards, to be fair, like what Juan's saying, I just think it's a volatile atmosphere. I don't think any
right now. Especially right now.
We're getting senior pros come to Man United and fail.
Yeah. It's not like Man City. It's not like Man City where they're going to win the match 4 or 5-0 anyway. I'll put them in, and if they don't have the best game, it really doesn't matter. Man United, we need every single player on the pitch to be playing well and not be nervous, because we're going to struggle at some point. And right now, especially early into Ten Hag's regime as well, that's not the right time maybe to experiment. It's at the moment, it's firefighting. It's not the time to be throwing those young players in. I did want to touch on, though, because Juan brought up a really good point earlier, and I hadn't thought about this from the perspective of a United fan, in that when we get involved, i.e. for Antony, later on in the window, we then start to drag the other club into our mess, don't we? Because they've got to replace that player with a week to go. It's not just us trying to find a player with a week to go. Then it gives them, if anything, less time. We saw it with Martinez. That deal didn't get done until they had a replacement ready, essentially. And it would be the same. And I don't know if even they could do that within 7 days. And they talked about Ziyech, I guess. But does that unhappiness one then start to drag into Ten Hag? Because the last time we had one of these conversations, I said, it was chasing after some of these Ajax players. Granted, we didn't get them all. But there must be some kind of hostility of going, look, happy for you, happy that you went to United. Okay, Lisandro Martinez. But where is that line, essentially, where the Ajax fans do start to go, okay, like it's getting silly now?
I think most of the fans already think he crossed the line already, because it's not only Antony, it's not only Lisandro Martinez, it's also, he started with Timber, don't forget. He wanted Timber first, and then it was Antony at the same time, and then he switched to Lisandro Martinez. Don't forget, you guys tried to hijack Brobbey, the one that we were working on for months, tried to get back. And he was, like, these kind of things doesn't sit well with the fans. And I remember, like, before he left, there was an interview and there was something called a gentleman's agreement. I mean, you can get one player. You guys already have our coach. But this is a little bit extreme in our view. And even from your perspective, forget Ajax's perspective for a minute. Just look at yourself. Are you guys comfortable just poaching and trying to sign Dutch players and Ajax players? Honestly,
no.
You guys believe in that strategy?
I'm believing in the process, Juan. I'm believing in that process.
Marcel does, but Marcel's crazy. That's also the problem. Because I do agree. I agree with the. We've had this conversation, and it's no slight against the Eredivisie, and it is. I understand from the Ten Hag perspective of I know these players know me, they know what I want. That the betting in process is quicker, but football just doesn't work like that in terms of recruitment. Yeah, historically we've seen people like Mourinho go to Porto, get a couple of players here and there, but it's almost disrespectful to an extent to Ajax, because it's just under this assumption that they sell players anyway, they'll move on, they'll get over it. But
we've heard that
selling players to other clubs, selling players to other clubs as well.
But Owen, it's a big boy world. There's a transfer window. You offer a amount of money. It doesn't matter if you drag a club into something or not. The money that you have to offer now is higher because we're later on in the transfer window. Whatever problems we get if you sell a player, it's our problem. If we accept it, it's our problem. We have to get sufficient backup for it. We have less time for it, so the price is higher. The thing is what Juan is already saying, the chasing of several players, that starts to annoy some certain fans at the club, But buying a player in the last 9, 10 days of a transfer window, it shouldn't be a problem because all the clubs are doing it. So this is a non-argument, but the chasing of so many targets from us, like Brobbey or players in the past that didn't come, that is something that the fans are really getting bothered with at the moment. Not the last-minute bits, in my opinion.
And also, it would save you 20 million extra on Antony if you guys would have bought him sooner. So it's not even a good tactic for Manchester United.
Because we have to pay so much.
There was a meme on Twitter. I mean, the other day, it was very funny. It was like a couple of weeks ago. There was this, this news that came out that you guys could have Martinez and Antony together for 120 or something, 125. I don't remember the exact amount. No, but United would prefer to buy them like separately for 165 or something like that.
I do not think they think that's funny, Juan, to be honest.
No, listen, we've got to the stage where if you don't laugh, you cry. Like we've been doing it. Like that's a nice meme for some of the ones we have been seeing. I just want to get through these super chats, and there's so much more we want to talk about, and I want to make sure we cover like as many topics as we can through the sort of next 25 minutes while we got you guys. Saleh says, Gakpo from playing at PSV. What are the main differences between Gakpo and Antony, or are they very different players with different characteristics? We mentioned Gakpo earlier, and a few of you guys, shook your head saying no. From your point of view, who is better value for money at this moment? 38 million pounds for Gakpo and see what we can do with him, or spend 100 million on Antony?
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
Can I ask another question?
Go ahead, Juan.
Who do you think has the bigger chance of succeeding in the Premier League at United? I think that's a better question, because you can buy for 50 or 40 million someone, but if he doesn't do anything, then it's a better value for money for a player, but he doesn't.
I'll be honest, Juan. I don't really know. I honestly, when I look at Gakpo, I was saying this to Owen, he seems like more direct and just like raw, quick, like fast. And me personally, I want that. I want less skill and trickery, and I want a player who's direct and can just, even if he's got less technique and less skill level than the other guy, I need someone who's direct now, who's going to make runs and be at it. I don't know if Cody Gakpo is definitely that guy, but from what I've seen of him, with the way he moves, he's quite lanky, long limbs. He looks like he goes past people quite easily. That's what attracts me to him. And obviously, the biggest thing, I can't lie about it, is spending a lot less at this time. The value for money. So if we spend 38 million and it's like, okay, we'll see what this kid can do, versus we're spending 100 million. 100 million, I need a guarantee that guy comes in and he's the guy. There's marquee and then there's marquee. And I know the reason why we're paying it is because of what you said, Ajax. It's because it's late. But the fact is we still have to pay that money. And 100 million for Antony is an awful lot. So the truth is I don't really know. Like whoever we get, I'll get behind. But I just want someone like fast, who has an eye for goal, who can be direct. Like someone said there, like I want the Dutch Rashford. That's not what I'm saying, because Rashford is completely devoid of anything. Like, come on, guys, you know what I mean. Like, I just want someone really direct and less so like a Jadon Sancho type. And I don't know like super a lot about both players, so that's why I'm asking the question. And the question has been asked. How do you guys see it between two?
I will give it to the other boys. I will react later.
It's so difficult, Flex, because you're comparing apples with oranges here. You, at the one hand, want Antony as a right winger with his left foot cutting inside, and then as an alternative, you have a left winger. So this is something that bothers me already, because they're different kind of players. And also, people are saying, look at the stats, look at what they performed last season. If you truly watch all the matches and you see the quality of the player, you see that Antony will have a much higher ceiling. But why are the stats different? We play totally different style of football than PSV plays. They are more of a counter-attacking kind of a team that let the opponent come a bit sometimes and then counter upon them with a lot of space. We are always 70, 75 ball possession, especially in the Eredivisie, of course, at the half of the opponent with less room. So you cannot compare the styles of play. And Antony is more of a team player that's combining, and Gakpo is one of the go-to guys at PSV to finish it off. He's one of their star players, as we have several star players in our team that can also do the same trick. So our quality throughout the team is broader, and it's not only the go-to guy, give it to him and he solves the problem, he scores the goal. So those stats doesn't mean anything. Also, it's much easier to score goals in the Conference League than to score goals and give assists in the Champions League. Those are so many different arguments that you can bring together and then look at the total picture. So for me, I'm not saying Gakpo is not a great player, but I would go for Antony. The question is he worth 100 million paying for that, or won't you rather spend it on maybe a Gakpo and another player? But I'm telling you now, Gakpo is not going to be a great player on the right wing, I think, personally, because it's not his position.
What about if he was on the left, instead of Rashford?
Yeah, what about up front? What about up front, guys? What about, because his profile, he's a tall, physical player, maybe similar to Haller, maybe Ajax?
No. Haller is a fox in the box, just a finisher. And Gakpo is more of a little bit more of a technical player, a winger that has to have his space also a little bit. He could finish some goals off, but he's not a pure striker. You should stop with playing players out of position and just play them in their strength. And not buying a left winger and then putting him as a striker. That doesn't make sense to me.
That's a really good point. I hadn't really considered that. We see a player in Cody Gakpo. My pronunciation was right, Flex, as well, by the way. That's why.
Never doubted you. Never doubted.
Yeah, 100%. But we didn't consider, I guess, how PSV do play, and they play. When you're getting a player from Ajax, you are getting a player that plays a Ten Hag style. Whereas I can speak for myself. I didn't even do the research in how that PSV play. And if you're getting a counter-attack player coming into Manchester United, we've already got a lot of counter-attack players because our squad is built up to play counter-attack because we've had 3 years of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And the part of the problem now is that you've got a group of players that are used to one style of play and are being told to try another style of play. And that is a concern. but it's just the money. That's the thing. It is just the money. And I look at the Gakpo deal also, and also look at it as there have been noises that irrespective of if they qualify for the Champions League group stage or not, they're going to be happy to sell. It just might be for, say, 38 million. But still, I look at that deal and say, well, that's a deal I know that we can do. The Antony one, I mean, as you guys are saying, I guess we can still do it, but the price is going to be what it is. And that is the concern.
But can I ask one question? And maybe it's a rumor or maybe it's factual. You guys have to answer me this, please. Is it true that you guys offered 130 million for João Felix? And it got declined, but 100 million for Antony is then too steep of a price, or because 130 million, and I know they paid a lot from him when they got him from Portugal, so the fee has to be high. But João Felix is also not the finished product or banking in like 30 goals or 25 goals in the La Liga, you know. And I know Atletico Madrid plays like a defensive style of play, so it's different. But is he worth 130 million? I also saw, we cannot pay for Antony and Gakpo combined but it's the same price. It's also 130 or 135 million. So what is the actual back of money that you guys have at the moment? Because I hear so many different stories.
You have just been introduced to what is known as Glazonomics.
Okay.
Yeah. And Glazonomics, nobody can understand those numbers. If you try and add them up, you'll get confused. It's very confusing.
Basically, you get more money the later you get in the window.
Yeah, the worse
you get, panic, the more money available.
The worse you get told at the beginning of the window, well, money is what it is. And then you go, well, price. Because when the Antony price was first put out there, 3-4 weeks ago, whenever it was, that it was dead in the water, the price was, it's way too expensive. No way. It became not too expensive within a couple of weeks, just back-to-back defeats. And they went, actually, that price, I don't know about it. So, that's Glazonomics. I have no idea. Because you're right, 130 million, wow, what's 100 plus 35-ish for Gakpo? Yeah. That makes sense, does it not? But Glazonomics, can't understand it.
Glazonomics. I'm just going to get the rest of these super chats out, and you guys obviously carry on. Salah says, what are your thoughts on Donny van de Beek treatment at United? We're going to talk about that a little bit. WJ Barrett says, Ajax guys, thoughts on Gakpo? You're not convinced. We just literally spoke about that, so big up WJ Barrett. MMX says, did United just buy their next captain with Casemiro? So basically, what do you guys think about him? Machiavelli says the only reason United fans want Gakpo over Antony is because of the price difference, but wouldn't it make more sense to pay the extra to get the better player, which was basically what the We Talk Ajax guys were talking about, but basically also stating that it's a lot to do with styles and with how Erik ten Hag wants to play. Probably Antony would suit us better. Marcel says, can a midfield of Casemiro, Donny, and Eriksen work? Load of questions here. We'll try and come back to as many as we can. And so many here. There you go. Shatanu says, we should make a holding deal with Ajax, pay them 100 mil every season, and have a choice to sign any 3 players from them per season. Yeah, let's just go into a deal with them where we could just keep rinsing their players.
Or an affiliate club.
Affiliate club. Yeah.
Start a tab, man.
And Shivam says, Rashford is done. Man United should cash in while he has value. MWK360 says Ten Hag will get sacked when he refuses to bench Rashford and Maguire, loan and sell quality youth. I'm already suspect with him and his actual football IQ. MWK,
wow.
very
Maguire might not be playing tomorrow, though. It must be said, isn't it? There's rumours that Maguire's going to be dropped tomorrow.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that happens. Nikki C777 says, do you think Ten Hag can get control of this club? I rate Ten Hag, but our club is in such a mess. I like his signings so far, but our managers usually get a poor second windows. All you guys are class as well. Seller says, would you have Donny van de Beek back at Ajax? So many questions to get back to. Vishal, latest member of United View members, actually been a member for 3 months, so big up Vishal, got a blue badge. Thank you, Vishal. Says, big up to our Ajax brothers. So poignant and precise with their thoughts. Really hope we can get our act together for Ten Hag. Also, we need Antony, so bigging up the boys, 100%. They are a family. Red Baron says, Flex wants another Rashford in Gakpo. People have decided that Gakpo is just another Rashford, basically. Fair enough. Ramanan says, we need quality. Rashford has pace, but does F all. Malik says, rather Antony because United has lacked a player with skill and trickery for years. Antony for 100 million is ridiculous, but Liverpool paid 85 million for noodles. In my opinion, United end up with both. Shazzy Boy says, just seen apparently Ziyech in Amsterdam. You reckon Ajax will accept United's offer, just trying to get Ziyech deal done? And Nate Hate says, United's transfer strategy, see if we're crap and panic. And Robert says Ziyech is now on the way to Ajax for a meeting. So I don't know if there's been some breaking news while we've been live. We can check that out while we're live as well, because a lot of people are talking about apparently Ziyech is on his way. And if he is on his way, I mean, to you guys for talks, that would suggest a lot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But him not being included in the game squad and missing out on training twice, training inside, says a lot also. So I think when there's rain, it's going to pour, you know. So I think there will be some rumors, and I think there will be some factual news in the coming days, because, they are going to come in with a higher bid. I just got this gut feeling.
And also, he's literally just played against Leeds. Probably gone back to London. What has he done? Got on a jet straight from Leeds, maybe, or helicopter? Like, how's he got there already? I don't know about that. So we shall see. Some of the stuff that other people were talking about and asking about was Erik ten Hag. Just, look, I'm not suggesting for one moment we panic. I'm not suggesting for one moment we lose faith. But in terms of how long it's going to take him to get hold of this, and I think one of the questions was, do you think he can sort this mess? He's a great manager, but as you guys all know, Manchester United is broken. Do we just need to just sit tight and believe that Ten Hag can find a strategy, can find a way of playing with these guys amongst the chaos? Papimento, I'll put that to you.
That's a hard question. It all depends on his results, of course, because I think he can maybe lose against Liverpool, but after that, he needs to get some points, or else his journey at United will be short-lived. So does he get the time? And if he gets the time, then yes. Then you could see it as maybe what Arsenal has with Arteta, maybe a 2-year plan or something to build up the team. But there's still a lot to do with the team and the quality of the players on the pitch. I mean, I heard Cam saying when he was discussing the Brentford game that Ten Hag also, when a player plays bad, he doesn't even have options to put a better player in or to switch him around. So he also needs those options. And I don't see that in this transfer window he got enough backup to really get the results he wants.
I want to get through as many questions as possible. Donny van der Beek, one question was, would you take him back? And two, what do you make of the treatment that he's had at Manchester United? And I might add that even Erik ten Hag hasn't exactly come here and said, you're my guy, Donny, I believe in you, this is a new start. He's still been basically where he's always been for us at the moment.
Yeah, so the first question, there's always, like a place for Donny, but at the moment, I think already Ajax alluded to that. We have a lot of players right now, especially on the midfield. I mean, we have some players on the midfield that are being benched or being put as a winger because we cannot find his position and these kind of things. So at the moment, we don't have any space for Donny. But looking at the United situation, I honestly think that the thing with Van der Beek will come. But don't forget, I mean, he was signed by United, but he didn't play. For a professional player, if you don't play, you lose a lot of match fitness, and you have to get that back. And that's one of the things that Ten Hag, he doesn't joke around with these kind of things. So you have to be very, very fit, to play in the team. And if not, he's not going to play you. So I think that's the situation. I think bits by bits, but that's really me guessing at the moment. But I think bits by bits, he will get more playing time going forward. But I think he's focusing on totally different things right now. Trying to, like you said, focus on getting defensive stability in the team. So
yeah, there's so much going on. If you guys got any other questions, Owen or Marcel, feel free, man.
Yeah, definitely. Just on that, what you were just saying there, Juan, we're seeing right now Ten Hag play a single pivot system. Do you think he could tweak it, or would he persist with the single pivot and go double pivot? Obviously, now we've got Casemiro in the team, so that's defensive solidity. Would he add maybe somebody else there like Fred and maybe get the best out of Bruno? We've seen the most productive Bruno in a double pivot system. What's your guys' thoughts on him tweaking it?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to keep tweaking until he sees like real progress with United, you know. Right now, he doesn't know still into the season. I think he was a bit surprised because in the preseason things looked a little bit good, but then in the Premier League it looks totally different. So I think he's shocked as well, and he's trying to find a solution for that. So I think,
I agree.
I think bits by bits he will try to find something to steady the ship. But again, I think also depends on what you guys sign and how that will work out. But he will eventually find a way. I think whether it's a one pivot or a double pivot, he will find a way to make it work. And I also mentioned this before. You guys all laughed at me, and I think Pimento was the only one.
You're not laughing now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Keep saying it. I think especially if you look at tomorrow's game, right? You guys are playing Liverpool. One of the strengths of Liverpool is if you guys lose the ball, you're toast because their transition game is top notch. And that's the thing you guys also have. Bruno in the number 10 in the central area, he has to be very, very, very careful because if he loses the ball too many times, there's no chance tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, agreed. I want Eriksen to play. I want Eriksen to play instead of Bruno. I've been saying that for a while. Owen, you got any questions?
Yeah, when it comes to the structure, Manchester United, one of the big things before Ten Hag came into United was that, yes, great coach, clearly great achievements at Ajax, but he also had a great structure behind him. You know, he had Overmars, he had Van der Sar. From an outsider looking in, I'll go to Papamento. From an outsider looking in, would you say that the hierarchy at United has failed him or succeeded him this summer? How have you made it when it comes to his backing in the transfer market?
Wow, that's a good question. No, I think Ten Hag made it himself very, very hard. Actually, just going for specific names, one in his as transfer targets. So you guys stayed on Frankie de Jong for a long time. But when I look at Arsenal, for instance, with Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, those were not big numbers as a transfer, but the quality is there. And I'm like, okay, you guys are focusing on one player, but no, you should focus on a profile and get those players. And I think that's the mistake maybe Erik ten Hag made in this transfer window, because I'm sure he knew before the end of the season with Ajax that he would go to United. And I mean, I saw Premier League last season, and I'm sure he did too. He knew that a lot need to happen for United to become good again. And I would have sent a letter with, these are all the names I want, go to work, even before he came to United, because the transfer window is not that long.
Can I ask something about this? This is something that baffles me a little bit. I don't understand. Maybe you guys know, or maybe not. I don't know. When Ten Hag had a talk with United, it was a couple of months, I think, already before he signed. You know, they talk and they go through everything. I think, you know, Ten Hag is somebody that's very precise. He knows what he wants. He wants everything to be specifics and these kind of things. I can see him, you know, like looking at the squad and thinking, okay, I want these profile players, you know, for the squad. What happened between that time and right now? I mean, it seems to me like, because if I look at the names that keep popping up, and I know we shouldn't believe everything that you read. I know this, but it doesn't make sense. Like Pimento said, the profile you guys are chasing, it's one thing, and then another week you hear something else, and a totally different type of player. So, and I think also one of the things that you should never do, that's in general, not only Ten Hag, as a club, you should never give the power to a coach entirely to get a player in. This has to be in talks with the director of football. They have to agree together. That's also the system in Ajax. If a coach wants a player, everybody has to agree, not only the coach. So
the reason why, literally what you said, one, is because that system and structure is not in place at Manchester United. That's literally the reason. Because the thing that you're saying, which absolutely should happen, can't happen at Manchester United because it isn't in place. And that's what we've been screaming out for. You look at, we've gone from one extreme to another straight away. So yes, I say back the manager and get him his players. He needs the backing. He needs to, you know, rip the squad down and build it in his image. But we've gone from one thing, which is the board and the recruitment team getting these types of players that are no good, and we're left with no real identity, and the players don't complement each other. And like you said, go completely the other way, which is get every single person this guy says from Eredivisie or players he's known or worked with before. And again, both can be kind of true. Both statements can be kind of true. Yes, getting players that he knows can help him, but it can also hinder him as well, because like you guys know, that the Eredivisie is completely different to the Premier League. So I agree that that's what should happen. You look at Liverpool with the structure, and it's not just all on Klopp. I was doing something with a Liverpool fan yesterday on a show, and they were talking about how Klopp leaves it to the top people. He said if we would have left it to Klopp, we would have had players like Julian Brandt and what's the guy who won the World Cup? Little guy, Götze, Mario Götze. We would have had players like that if we left it to Klopp. But Klopp, they agree with it, and then they tweak it, because even once Klopp leaves now, there's a sustainable thing for them to follow. The same with Pep at Man City. So Manchester United need that. We really, really do need that. Owen, I think you wanted to.
Yeah, that's why we were linked with people like Arnautovic, right? It's because they go, well, he's got a relationship in the past. But to your point, it's kind of like, and this is typical Manchester United, is we do this every 3 years. Whatever direction we were going in, we just go, we're going to go in the complete opposite direction. Whether it's the style of play, whether it's recruitment, whether it's whatever. And the problem is, if you don't stay the course, eventually you just get a mishmash. And then you get what you've got right now, which is there is really no profile. There's no identity. It's just a bit of a mess. I mean, I wanted to ask as well, were you surprised, considering, again, you spoke about you wouldn't take Harry Maguire earlier. I'll go to Ajax. Were you surprised that Ten Hag said, well, he's the established captain, I'm sticking with him? I mean, were you surprised with that? Is he someone that does tend to favor a bit of a bold move? So were you surprised that he stuck with him?
Yeah, definitely surprised, because I think Maguire is one of your biggest problems, and it has been shown again in the last couple of matches. Not only Maguire, also I have to say I'm sorry for this, De Gea has been poor also. So if your two most important players in the goal and your captain in the defense make big mistakes, and on top of that, but I had to bite my tongue a little bit the last 20 minutes, but I have a few things on my chest. On top of that, you play Maguire, you keep him as a captain, you pay a lot of money for one of your top players at Ajax to come into the team, and what do? You substitute your new player, throw him under the bus at halftime, while the whole team was playing poor.
Yes.
While the whole team was playing poor. So this is something you have to blame Ten Hag for, because he has to protect Martinez, that is new at the club, and just sacrifice the players that have been rotten apples since like 2 seasons now. And this is something that bothers me also, because what I wanted to say like 20 minutes ago is the fans, the Man United fans, everybody, you have to stick behind your manager, because not one manager in the whole world can fix this mess that they are in now. It's a transitional period. You have to build. And also, to make the circle complete now, we talked about the youth. You guys said, like, we have to have balance within a team. You have to have stability, and then maybe there's time to play the youth. But who's going to bring you that stability? Is it going to be Fred? Is it going to be McTominay? Is it going to be Maguire, De Gea, and all other players that have failed like 1.5 years already? Isn't it better to try new, fresh faces, accept that you're in a transitional period, and get some fresh blood in that gets some energy into the team that wants to fight for the team? Because I can tell you this already, if you keep playing the same players, you cannot get the strengthening you need from transfers that come in. They will fail maybe for a few more matches because you try to alter it, Then if you then play the young kids, they say, oh, it's a last-ditch effort. It's never the great time to do that. So why not do it now and make rough decisions at this point and try to like figure it out? And every Man United fan has his responsibility for this also. Quit telling Ten Hag out after 2 matches and starting doubting the manager already. It's a period that you have to go through before it gets better. If you can be sure of it, that probably in this situation it's a big chance that you lose against Liverpool tomorrow. Will it be the fault of the manager again? Is it the fault of the players? So stick to the manager, give him time, and accept that the situation that you are in as a club is difficult. It has to do with the management, it has to do with the current players. But this guy is trying to fix it for you. And I can tell you this now, the players that are in the team at the moment, some are not trying to fix it anymore. They're just there. So this, sorry, it's a bit of a rant, but this is something that I want to get off my chest, man. Sorry.
Are you guys happy with Ajax, with Ten Hag, by the way?
No, we're not.
Just from a fan perspective? Are you guys happy with the
count of three? I think on the count of three, we should give Ajax a round of applause.
Yeah, I was literally going to say Ajax.
Sorry,
1, 2, 3.
When you were talking there, Ajax, I nearly had a tear drop from my.
I'm sorry. I had to bite my tongue for 20 minutes, guys.
We just needed the music. We just needed that that orchestra music in the background when he was doing it. But that's what we have. I know Marcel's very big on that. Owen's been an advocate for that. Even before Ten Hag come, I was saying it's going to be some horrible, horrible, horrible moments next season. And I keep saying it's like my favorite phrase because I've only learned how to say it properly. Batten down the hatches, stay together, because it's going to get horrible. Like really, really, really horrible. It really will. And to go to your question there, Papimento, first of all, it's 2 games. So, I don't think we should overjudge or underjudge. It's literally 2 games. And in the first game, Erik Ten Hag made a big call by staying true to his principles, by saying Ronaldo's not fit enough. He's only played 45 minutes in preseason. There's no Martial, and Rashford has played on the left all preseason. So that's not a part of my philosophy. And he's not very good up front. So I'm going to play. I have to make a call, either Bruno or Eriksen as the false 9. It didn't work. We lost 2-0 against Brighton, but he stayed true to his principles. The second game, if De Gea, if your goalkeeper makes a mistake like that, game plan out the window. Game plan out the window. Yeah. And then the second one, exactly. And then the second one, when you do that, and that's why I even had to ask Ten Hag. I even had to ask him myself, because that day at Brentford, I couldn't believe my eyes of continuing to play in that way when we clearly were under massive, massive pressure, away from home with confidence already vulnerable. I had to ask him, is that your clear instruction to keep playing like that no matter what? And it was so great to hear it from Erik himself that, no, I don't want us to play like this if we're clearly not able to in the moment. That was naive. He literally cleared it up. So I agree with everything you're saying. And that's what I was going to ask you next, Ajax, is did you see this type of thing at the beginning with Erik Ten Hag in terms of the team making a lot of mistakes from trying to play how he wants, maybe some bad tactical decisions or late substitutions, or just him just maybe not making as much of an impact early on because he just has to find his feet, work out who we can rely on versus who we can't. I know about the transfer window. We'll park that because Man United has a lot of failings. But just on Erik Ten Hag, the manager, and tactics and belief in the players and the improvement, did you see stuff wrong at the start where you really had to, say, let's just keep calm?
Yeah, of course, because the total difference between your situation and ours was he came in, and the guys have to back me up for this, at the middle of the season. Marcel Keizer got sacked, and he took over the helm in January. So it was totally different. It was in the transfer window, the winter break, coming in, trying to do his best with the team. And actually, at the end of the season, people were doubting him. Is he the guy for us? Then he got the new season, and he got to work the preseason, and then things started clicking, and he had an amazing season in the Champions League. So yes, we have to give it some time, and he can do it. But in the beginning, there were doubts at our club also, and it took like 6 months to get it on track. And this is also at your club. And if I may, I want to ask a little question towards you guys, because this is a transitional period. We can be sure of that. Would you rather have him make hard decisions and drop certain players that do not deliver, even if it are big names like Maguire, even if it's
anybody
Shaw,
can get it.
Even if
Anybody can get it.
Isn't it better to play other players entirely and just try to go for it? And if you fail, then you accept it because you tried it, and you try to bring fresh faces in, and it's a transitional period, so they have to grow. Or do you just stick to the players and you just hope, I hope they see the light now, and this game it will be different. I think the big decision has to be made now, and then you can go forward. But this has to do with the coach. And I'm very curious from your side, guys. Would you rather have a hybrid system, keep playing those players with a little bit new fresh faces in, or bring in some more youth and just try to go for it?
It looks like it's going to be a hybrid system where he does a bit of both, to be honest with you. I don't think he'll play all the youth players, similar to what we were saying before, Papimento and Juan. We were saying, you can't really blend the youth players in this kind of environment. So I think it'll be a bit of a hybrid system. And you've got Europa League as well. So there'll be opportunity to try new players, see how they fit into the system as well. But he's got to make big decisions, like you're saying, Ajax. He really does have to make big decisions. And we have to trust him to do that at this stage. But it's going to be an experimental season. I said before a few weeks back, I'm writing off the season, but that's maybe not the right way to say it. It's more of a thing of we've got to allow this manager to make mistakes. He's new to the league. He has to learn certain things about the league and his players. We've heard him say in interviews that obviously he trusts these players and they have high potential. There's obviously clearly, we as fans can see some of them clearly don't, and they must be dropped. And that's a process that obviously doesn't just involve him. But going forward, I think, I would like to see new players being added to the squad that, we don't see often.
Yeah, I agree.
The biggest difference, though, Ajax, I see with Ten Hag at Ajax was the players were there. I mean, here, it's still like the quality is not there. Even in your first 11, the quality is not there. So even if you drop Maguire, who are you going to put there? I mean, he's not even playing Varane.
But sorry, you can play Varane. You can even play Bailly that you are going to loan out now. But even him played a better preseason than Maguire did. So I'm not even Bailly, even Varane play them, and it will be better than Maguire, to be honest. And also with Fred and McTominay, just try other faces. Why do you not try at least to play Donny? Why? Why do you stick to McFred and keep doing it?
Yeah, but it's interesting with Donny, but that's 3 managers, and one including the one who even sold him to us, has come here and said, Donny, I don't think you can play pivot here in the Prem. Like there's something like there's got to be something, because you can say Ollie's a rubbish manager. Ralph was gegenpress and the father of all systems, didn't even touch him. Well, actually he was on loan, to be fair.
Even at Everton flex, he didn't rip up Everton.
Yeah,
Everton, with Donny,
then he got injured.
You would say if there was ever going to be a guy that was going to kickstart his Man United career, it was Erik ten Hag. But even he is like, no. And I don't know if that's because, again, the Premier League, different league. I pretty much every United fan would probably say, I don't know. Myself personally, I mean, I've got criticised for this sometimes in the Premier League games. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, because sometimes he does go through games and you just don't really see him. And I feel like he's one of those players that his runs off the ball are really good. I don't know if there's a quality in the United side to find some of those runs, but he's not one of those players whereby if he's not being found, like say a Bruno, he'd be like, right, I'm going to go get the ball then. I'm going to go affect the game. Donny will be like, well, I'm just going to keep making those runs. Eventually, if they'll find me. But the fan base sometimes can be so unforgiving, and rightfully so, and probably his teammates by going, well, you're not touching the ball, or you're not doing anything.
Hold on.
Maybe that's why.
I want to protect Donny a little bit, okay? So when you guys bought Donny, it was in a counter-attacking system, totally not his way of playing. So he didn't play. Okay, at Everton, I think he started pretty well with a goal and everything, but he got injured. That's why he wasn't playing. And now the structure is not there at United to get the full effect of Donny van de Beek on the 10 position. So if your structure is not there, you're not going to play Donny because you need a different type of 10. But I'm telling you, when that structure is there and you can rely on your defense and you can rely on your number 6 to not allow so many goals against and keep the field small, then Donny becomes a viable option for the 10.
Maybe Eric's waiting for that. Maybe Eric's waiting to get Casemiro and Fred as a base, and then we go from there and then start progressively trying to make. But right now, I think one of you guys said it, I can't remember who, but basically saying that he just needs to make us solid first and difficult to beat. Like there's so many steps of, you could even say, go to, Marcel's old friend, David De Gea, and say, okay, it's a much bigger problem than we anticipated more early on. I can hold my hands up and say that. I said he's one of the last things we have to fix, but
I said it too.
You said it, and Cam was saying, no, it's the first thing you have to fix, because that's actually where it starts. And when you see that Everton game, that literally is the epitome of, that's where it starts. That's where you build your attack. But I don't know. I look at Stekelenburg and I'm like, is he amazing with his feet, or does he just did he just understand what he had to do better because he practiced it more? Like, David De Gea's got a lot of adjusting to do, and I don't think he'll ever be good.
I remember. Sorry to interrupt. I remember you guys saying though that sometimes because of your reputation in the Eredivisie, sometimes the teams won't press you high up because they just know it won't work. Whereas the opposite's happening with United. The teams now are going, "We'll press high up because it's definitely going to work." We don't have that luxury, I don't think, and maybe it would be a little bit different. I don't know. Would it be different if you had teams pushing you really, really high up? Would then Stekelenburg be sought out, or is he just better with his feet than De Gea?
Did you guys see Newcastle pressing City? So I think the Premier League is crazy, and the level just went up and up and up. And I don't think you can everybody's going to press you.
Just really quickly on Martinez, Papimento, and then you guys all go for it. On Martinez, Jamie Carragher did this graphic and said this is why Martinez can't play a centre back in the Premier League, and he put a graphic up basically saying that Brighton, in a short form, Brighton normally play like this, but when they played against Man United, they've done more long passes than they ever usually do because he's small when they target him. He's done the same graphic for Brentford compared to last season and said this was their percentage of long balls last time. It was really low, and now they played against Man United. They bypassed the press and went really long, again targeting Martinez. So he's saying that Manchester United can't play him there. Maybe in a back three if he's a left centre back, or maybe in defensive midfield or a left back, but he doesn't think he can play centre back. And I'm not just saying we should all listen to Jamie Carragher. I'm just using it as a reference point because it's a talking point. With the Premier League being so physical and people targeting him, is that an issue for you, Papimento? Would Ten Hag need to maybe find a system that protects him or change his position, or does he just persist with that?
No, because I watched Cam explaining it, and he said that he was winning his duels as well, but the second ball wasn't getting picked up. So can you really blame Martinez then for the long balls, or is it just your midfield that is not picking up the second ball? And I mean, that's his best position. He played Champions League with Ajax in that position. I don't see why it couldn't work for United. I hope he gets a better pairing, maybe Varane, but something else than Maguire, because seriously, he doesn't help much. And but it's not it's not Lisandro's mistake. And also, by the way, Lisandro Martinez missed a lot of the preseason with Ajax. So this is basically his first game that he got minutes. I don't even know if he played some friendly matches before that.
Yeah, he played half a game against Rayo Vallecano, and then was straight in the starting lineup against Brighton. Had a 50-50 game against Welbeck. Some really good bits where he calms the you can see why Ten Hag wants him. Calms it down, settles on the ball, passes into a midfielder instead of just hooking it long. And then a couple of times where Welbeck kind of sussed him out a little bit, pushed him a little bit, just tried to be a nuisance, and he should have given away a penalty, to be fair. But there was good and bad. And then against Brentford, I don't even think he was the worst player. There was he wasn't the whole team. He was winning his duels with Ivan
Even
Toney.
Ten Hag said in that interview with Carragher, he pushes back and he goes, "Well, the data doesn't say that he got dominated. The data doesn't back that up."
Did Ten Hag explain why he substituted him then at halftime?
He said I subbed 3 players.
He said I could have subbed everyone, because the question that he got asked was, "Did you do it for a reason of height? You brought on Varane," and he just went, "No, I could have subbed 11 players. I decided to sub those 3." But the question, to your point, Ajax, is, okay, but why those 3 then?
Yeah, I did say that. I did say that in my match analysis. I said that doesn't look good on Martinez, that he's your guy. You brought him in for 55 million. And when you need to make changes at halftime in a difficult game, when we're 4-0 down, don't get me wrong, so the result's gone, you take him off and you go for a taller centre-back and go with Maguire and Varane. Now, look, that could be Ten Hag's reverse way of trying to protect him further, take him out in case we conceded more goals.
Or he wasn't fit enough.
Or he knows that he knows he can take it, because I know him. So I know if I'm going to pick on one player, he knows I can. He knows me. He knows it's nothing personal. This won't upset the apple cart. So I can take it out on him and say, look, just nothing personal. I'm taking out the firing line. Is that maybe why?
Yeah,
no, this is BS. No, you can blame Ten Hag.
I'm a professional at it.
No,
be nice to Owen, bro.
No. But you can blame.
Don't be nice to him, bro. He's horrible to everyone. Passive aggressive Owen, bro.
Ajax, it's always BS. It's
okay, cool.
BS.
Okay, no, but seriously, you can take a lot on Erik Ten Hag, and you have to protect the coach. But what he did to Martinez was a stupid decision. You have to protect your guy that just got into the team, and have to protect him against the media. Then you're not going to sub him off at halftime. if you know everything that's going on, if you know what everything the media are saying, towards his height, keep him on and substitute Maguire, for example, for another player. This is a mistake in my opinion, and he should have done better with the substitutions back then.
I think he was just shocked, Ajax. I think he was just shocked. But just a question on the 6th position. You mentioned, Ajax, that it's a maverick position. It's a very, very key position in this game. And I agree with you. I think the way that Ten Hag plays it is almost like a 10. They have to be able to drive through the lines with the ball, come into half spaces in between the defensive and midfield lines, and be very creative, free roam. So we've been chasing Frankie de Jong the whole window, the perfect 6 in that kind of Ten Hag system. Is there another player in world football that you would say has similar qualities or that can play this 6?
Yeah, you have a guy called Modric at Madrid, but he's old and he has those qualities also, but that's not an option. Yeah, I do not know why it's dragging on so long with Frankie, but he is that special kind of player, and I've kept saying this in the past. If you saw that match of Barcelona a while back, and you guys have to help me against which team it was. I think it was Vallecano. I'm not sure. He was at the bench, Frankie. He didn't play. And then after one half, he came in. And you saw that the play altered. They start playing differently. And he is that type of guy that can also dance away and pass 1 or 2 plays. And this is something so rare within football these days, that you have somebody that can pass somebody and can progress the play. You also saw it today with Saint-Maximin from Newcastle. It's in a different position, but he can run towards a player and he can pass a player, creating difficult situations that other players have to guess. This is what Frankie does. He rarely loses the ball and he creates play. He dances away, he sees the guys chasing, then he just turns around, goes another way. And I cannot name a lot of players in modern football at the moment, maybe the guys can, that do it like that. It's a very specific quality.
Not at the level of Frankie, but I would say that Busquets is one of those players. Which one? Sorry, Verratti could, maybe.
Absolutely.
But basically, are they unattainable players? Like just that, the caliber of players you're naming there. Like you're basically saying Frankie de Jong is in some top company. Basically,
because it's a very rare type. It's you have to be very good to play that position as well. I wanted to. There were a couple of points I want to make, if that's okay. Do we have time?
You go for it, bro. You go for it, and then I'll finish off with all the super chats. You go for it.
Yeah. So you guys talked earlier about a couple of things, but most importantly, what stood by was when you guys asked Ten Hag, why do you keep persisting, playing from the back and these kind of things? Eventually, this has to be sorted out. This has to work. But I think what's very important as well, you guys are missing a target guy up front. So there is no other alternative. You guys need a striker also, maybe not a starter, but you guys need a striker that can hold the ball up front, because it will give you much more flexibility also towards the teams that you guys are going to play. Because as you said, now all the teams coming to you, they know what to do. They're going to press all the time because there's no other thing you can do. But if you have also a striker that can hold the ball, if De Gea gives a long ball, or Lisandro or whoever, and he can hold the ball, you guys have more variety in your play. And I think a profile player that fits that, he plays at Fulham, Mitrovic, I think he will be, not maybe him, but a profile player like him would be perfect for you guys. Very sensible.
Someone who can hold like a focal point up front.
I know everybody's going to crucify me, just like I said, Bruno on the wing, but I really think it's a sensible signing. That's a sensible signing. It's not like the luxury signing, like a name signing, but it makes sense. That's what I think.
We can't get.
Everybody's quiet. I know. I'm sorry, guys. So,
we can't get Mitrovic, man.
So when are you going to buy Mitrovic, guys?
and Fulham, and tell you what, you saw the header he just scored yesterday. Actually, let's not disrespect Mitrovic. He's obviously come back up for the championship. Broke the record, took it off Antony. He's started the season very well. And actually, again, how we can't disrespect other teams. Fulham have started the season. He's their talisman. You know what I mean? They're going to go
Liverpool.
Mitrovic, 100 million. You know what I mean?
Liverpool, yeah. Liverpool, he absolutely ripped him apart.
Yeah, because actually, he's probably worth that. He is worth that to them. Going down and staying up is 100 million. It's worth that. That's their goals.
Even if it's not, guys, but even if it's not Mitrovic, a player profile like that makes so much sense for you guys. Honestly,
a lot of people say Ivan Toney is a good shout. I know, Ivan. If we put 35 million into Brent, well, again, he's their talisman. Brentford would charge more now, but Ivan would come 100% to Man United.
Can I briefly ask one thing, Flex, please?
Yeah.
We are discussing 100 million for Antony. I'm not fully aware of the Frankie de Jong situation. Why does Man United just not drop 100 million for Frankie? Wouldn't that be a done deal? Is that not a done deal then? Because I do not know what is the hold up there.
It's contracts, isn't it? I think even it's not necessarily the transfer fee itself. It's the reluctance to leave. I mean, Barcelona play tonight. Frankie de Jong starts centre midfield. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't have to leave.
Is he starting?
Starting centre mid, not centre back, centre mid as well. He's staying. He's staying at this point. He's not going anywhere. The only reason Barca really wanted to sell him was due to the financial situation anyway. But it looks like they've activated lever number 507. So they'll be able to keep him. So they'll be able to keep him this summer. And that's ultimately what he wants. He'll revert back to his old contract. He'll stay. He wants to stay. If Barca find a way to keep him, he doesn't go anywhere. He starts tonight.
But in hindsight, it is the blame on the management then. Because if you could have gotten him for like 75 million in the past, and even if you had to pay 90 million more because of this salary situation, you probably had the chance to buy him back then. But it dragged on and it dragged on and it dragged on. And now they find that lever that you're talking about. And now it's maybe not on.
I think Frankie. I
don't think Frankie ever wanted it. I don't think he ever wanted it.
He had it as the backup thing, but his preference was always to stay there, which is what we heard the whole way through, to be fair. And he was owed this money. They painted him out to be the bad guy, which I'm surprised. But at the end of the day, he looked like he wanted to stay there and never wanted to come. Just a whole bunch of super chats here. Says Shazzy Boy says Messi just assisted Mbappe within 10 seconds. Other leagues are dusted. Signing players from other leagues are now a massive risk for the Premier League teams. Afghan Paper says, what do you guys think of Erik ten Hag's performance so far? Which is what we just touched on. Nick says if we just paid the damn extra 17 million for Frankie de Jong months ago, we wouldn't even be in these discussions. No Timber, no de Jong, no Sheshko. Never the first choice. Planet Faz, big up Faz. He says, Ajax, I love you, bro. And Vince Clips, big up Vince Clips says, what do you think about the treatment of Mo? I don't know that.
Oh, Iatara?
Mo. Who's that?
Oh, Mohamed Kudus.
Mo Kudus. Sorry, Mo Kudus. Is that you guys, player?
Yeah. I think we're all on the same page on this. We love to see more minutes for Kudus in the team, but unfortunately, the managers aren't playing him that much. He got 20 minutes today. We all love him. We think he's a great talent and he has a bright future at the club, but unfortunately, he doesn't get the minutes in. So hopefully, it improves in the future.
We all love him as the panels here. Not all the fans.
No.
It's split.
Okay, yeah. It's split.
Okay.
Yeah.
We three.
Faz, another super chat. Faz says, Ajax, bro, do you want a job at Man United, please? Wants to employ you.
Sure.
And Faz always says, Pop Smoke, see you tomorrow. And Shivam says, board won't allow Erik ten Hag to drop Maguire. Politics. And Shivam says, Rashi, Bruno, Shaw, Harry, McTominay have power at Man United. MNX says, remember Pep's first move was to replace Joe Hart? Yeah, straight away. And Joe Hart was England's number one then. Avidan says, welcome, is the latest member of the United View Members Club. Gomain says, they're targeting him because Harry has no recovery pace, so beat Martinez and you're through on goal. Yeah, true. Yeah. And Planet Faz says, Flex, Mitrovic, I don't want to do this, but I think Faz is trying to say that he said about Mitrovic and people laughed, and we're still kind of laughing now because we don't want him. Adam says Fabian and Napoli can do the Frankie de Jong role too as well. Guys, we got to the end of the show, man. We could do a 3-hour show with you guys. There's always so much to talk about. Thank you all for coming on as per usual, man. Part of the family. You're part of the UV family now forever. I mean, even if something bad happened and Ten Hag got sacked in 2 years, we'd still have you on the show.
100%. 100%. There are Dutch cousins. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah,
always
big up 100%. You guys can find them over at We Talk Ajax podcast. Make sure you guys check out the channel. They're at every Ajax game. They've got reaction to all the Ajax stuff. So if you want to keep an eye on Antony and he's in the lead up of what's going on, check out their content as well. They do stuff in English as well. So don't worry about having to understand Dutch. And Ajax, let the people know where they can find you. What's your Twitter handles?
Yeah, it's @I_Jax. And I do not know by memory what of the guys are. But...
@Popimento _ Ajax. Yeah.
There you go. One.
I don't even know mine, man. To be honest.
Yeah, I will get yours. I will get yours and put it in the video description. I'll
guys,
make sure people know.
Thanks for having us. It was a blast. Again.
No worries, man. 100%. Guys, we are out of here. Remember to smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'm sure we will have the guys back sometime soon to discuss how we're doing on the next phase of Erik ten Hag's Manchester United's first season. We're out of here, guys. Take care. Peace.